If you have any query, anytime you can send me a WhatsApp. Okay, good afternoon, good afternoon. And I will also reply you by WhatsApp also whenever you have any query, right? So online will be in touch by WhatsApp. Okay, now I shared my screen. Screen is visible. Screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here, in last session, we had discussed the program of digit sum, right? So digit sum up to, I think we have finished up to this digit sum, right? Hello, hello. Just please respond me so I can understand. Hello, up to which digit sum and how to separate a digit, that things we discussed in last session, if you remember. Okay. So program that input a number and find out the sum of digits. Now this program is clear all of you. Last time we discussed or not? Just you tell me. Hello. Hello. Please respond me in a chat.
Yes, sir.
So are you aware about that? How we can separate a digit? Now tell me. How we can separate? What is the logic for that? If I input 125, then how we can separate this 5? What is the logic? What we have to do this with this number?
We have to divide it.
Sir,
Ah, yes, Michael.
sir, we use two parts, which is the first one is modulus, where you find the 5, and then the other one is the division, where you find the 1,
Very good.
2.
So, very good. If you want to separate a digit, then you have to remember the logic is you have to modulus by 10. When any number you modulus by 10, then remainder is always a last digit. So I think I know that I'm also remember that I draw that diagram in a paintbrush and I explain the division that I remember. Are you aware about that or not? In paintbrush, I have explained the what is the division. If you do the modulus 10, then it return the remainder. And if you use the division like n upon 10, and it will see when number divided by 10, it means suppose output of n modulus 10 is 5 and n divided by 10 we know that 12.5, but both are integers, so it will ignore this 0.5, so the output is 12. I hope it's clear all of you. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
so in last time we discussed this thing. Okay, today again we will move the next. Okay, program number 13. What is this program number 13? See, now all these programs are very close with each other. Few of the portion of the logic is used in one of the program. Suppose here say we have separated the digit and calculate sum. Now here what we have to do in this program, write a program that input number and find out reverse number. Let's see the discussion over here. Now tell me, what is the definition? We have to provide a one number as an input, right? Suppose if my input number is 125, then what should be my output? Find out a reverse of that number. What is reverse of that number?
521.
Yeah,
521.
the reverse means you have to read from right hand side. So the number is like that, 521. 521. So how we can make the number reverse? So in that case also we have to separate this. So separation logic is also involved in this. But the thing is that how we can replace 5 as a first digit. So this is again a mathematical rules, if you remember, right? This is, say, the first digit is always multiplied by 1, second is multiplied by 10, and third is multiplied by 100, fourth is multiplied by 1000. I think these norms you remember as far as the mathematics is concerned, right? So see, if I say that 5 multiplied by 1, then 2 multiplied by 10, then 1 multiplied by 100. In Gujarati, તમે મેથ્સમાં શીખ્યા છો ગુજરાતીમાં આને આપણે એકમ દશક ને 100 એવું બોલતા તમને પ્રાઇમરીમાં શીખવાડ્યું હશે, right? So ekam means that digit will multiply with 1. This is 1. Then second digit is multiplied always 10, and third digit is always multiplied by 100. And after that, if you make the total of it, and what is the 5 multiplied by 1? 5. 2 multiplied by 10, 20.
20.
And 1 multiplied by 100, 100. Now you make the total, it is equivalent to this number.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, the same thing you have to do over here, right? 5 multiplied by 100 plus 2 multiplied by 10. So see here we do not multiply with any number, but here it multiplied by with 10. Here it multiplied by 100, right? So what we have to do, first logic is listen, I will mention. Yeah. Sanjay. So how to write this program? See, let's say start the writing over here. First, in that we require two input in stdio.h and hash include conio.h, right? How to think about any program, that is important, right? So you have to start thinking in that way. Okay, how I can generate my output. So void main. So first thing we require one number that will take from input from user, right? So okay, so n we will take input from user. Another variable we required which will give a remainder. Remainder means last digit. So remainder means r. Then r, or you can say any other reverse number, for example. So initially reverse number we will say 0. Why it is 0, I will explain you. And last digit which will separate last digit, L, right? So that is the L. So first I will take input from user, enter any number. Hey, Sanjay, आप बंद कर दो. Sanjay. Picture low to here. Enter number nf %p %n, right? So I have taken a one value from user. Okay, we consider 125 we have entered. Now we know that how we can separate this value 1, 2 and this. So for separation in last we have use the logic like that. Whatever number you enter, that we will check whether that number is greater than 0. Up to that, say, first time number is 125. If you divide, first time you divide by 10, and number is 12. Then after that, if you divide 12 divided by 10, then number is 1.2, but it only 1. And finally, when 1 is divided by 10, then 0.1. So when the original number becomes 0, after that we have to stop this. After that we have to stop this while loop, right? So that's why the while loop is execute up to the greater than 0 value. Okay. Now, how we can separate the last digit? So for one variable last, and whatever number is there, that number modulus 10, right? So first time number is 125. So 125 greater than 0, 125 modulus 10, then it will separate 5 value. After that, if I want to separate 2, then my number should be, if I want to separate 2, then out of 125, I have to convert my number 12. Then how can I convert it? How can I convert it? What I have to do?
125.
Yes. So n is equal to n divided by 10. I hope it is clear up to this. These two statement, what these two statement will do, whatever number is there, modulus 10 will separate the last digit. Then once last digit is separate, then how can I make the whole number this? Then I have to divide by 10. Okay. So here I will get this L as a last digit, right? Now what I have to do in that? So as I explain you here, so this number is generally formed with the multiplication of 10. Here this is multiplied by 10. This is multiplied by 100, right? As I already explained, 100 multiplied by 1. This is 10 multiplied by 2. And this is 5 multiplied by 1. So the first digit multiplied by 1, second digit multiplied by 10, third is multiplied by. So see here, first time there is no 10. Second time 10, again, third time again 10 multiplied by 10 means 100. Third time it will, suppose if any number over here, 4 example, then 4 is multiplied by 1000. This is the norms. So by using that, you can say here, that again logic you have to just remember, okay, here how we can convert it. So reverse is equal to reverse multiplied by 10. Whatever number is separate, that multiply with 10 plus you add this last value. Whatever value is separated from the last, that you add over here, L. This is the main logic of this program here. How you can know that R multiplied by 10, it's a reverse. See now, first time I don't want to multiply with the number. See, the first value is always multiplied by 1. So multiply by 1 means it keep as it is. There is no change in. So first time, say I declare R as a 0. So 0 multiplied by 10, it means it becomes 0. Plus L means last number. So last number is 5. So 5 will remain as it is. I hope it's clear. That's why here R, it's a reverse number. So first time R becomes 0. So 0 multiplied by 10 plus whatever last digit is there, that we will add. And once this loop is executed, it will display the output like reverse number is %d, comma R, because R contains the final reverse number. I will explain the internal process, how this reverse number will generate, right, one by one. But this is the actual logic of this program. right? Main two things you have to think about. One is how to separate the last digit, and once you separate, then how you can make the second whole digit, then third, and finally how you can convert in a reverse. So this is the logic. Reverse number, first time it initialize 0, then you multiply by 10. Why we have to multiply by 10? Because each and every digit is multiplied with the 10 as per mathematical norms, and in that we have to add that last digit. Now let's we explain with the example, then you can understand. All of you just concentrate over here, because see, it requires a little bit more. If we consider the value of n, input value is suppose 125. So n is 125. Another variable is L. So L. Then another variable is R. Okay, R. Right? Okay. Now see, let we consider we have entered 125. So value of n is 125. Now n 125. Okay. 125 is greater than 0. Condition becomes true. Now tell me what is the output here. What is the value of L? N is 125. So 125 modulus 10 means what? 125 modulus 10 means what? Which is the last digit?
5.
5. So
5.
125 modulus 10 means it will separate the last digit. So 5. Then what is the value of L? The value of L is 5. Initially value R is 0. So R is 0 over here. Okay. Now over here, n divided by 10. What is the value of n right now? 125. 125 divided by 10 means what is the value? 125 divided by 10 means what is the value? 12.5 as per exact value. But here n is integer, 10 is integer. Then what it will do? It will ignore
So the 1.5.
0.5. It will ignore 0.5. So out of 125, now what is the latest value of n? What is the latest value of n? 12.
12.
12 is clear up to this? Okay. Now see here, initial value of R is 0. 0 multiplied by 10, what is the value? 0 multiplied by 10 means 0.
0.
Plus, what is the value of L, last digit? 5. So 0 plus 5, 5. And 5 is stored to R. So what is the latest value of R?
5.
5. Okay.
5.
Now again loop is executed. So now what is the latest value of n? 12, right? So 12 is greater than 0? Yes. Now tell me 12 modulus 10. What is the value? 12 modulus 10 means what? Which is the last digit?
2.
Just a minute. Who came late? Okay, no one. So 12 modulus 10 means it returned 2. So the now the value of L is 2. Latest value is 2. Okay. Now 12 divided by 10. What is the value? 12 divided by 10 means 1.2. But here both are integer. Then it will ignore 0.2. So now what is the latest value of n? Latest value of n is
1.
1. Now value of R is latest value of R is 5. 5 multiplied by 10. 5 multiplied by 10, 50. 50 plus, what is the value of L? 2.
52.
So 52. So 52 is again overwrite into R. So the latest value of R is 52. See, we have entered 125. Now 52 is become over here. Okay, let's again let n value is 1. So now n value is 1. N greater than 0? Yes, condition becomes true. Now 1 modulus 10. 1 modulus 10 means divisor is greater than divider. So the remainder is the number itself. So here the value of L is 1. So now 1. And now 1 divided by 10. 1 divided by 10 means what? 0.1.
1.
But it will ignore
The 1.
0.1. So now n becomes 0.
Zero.
So now value of n becomes 0. Now place, what is the value of r? R value is 52. 52 multiplied by 10. What is the answer? 520. And
Yes, sir.
520 plus L. What is the latest value of L? 1. Now tell me 120 plus 1. What is the answer?
521.
521 is the latest value of I. 521. Okay. Now see, the latest value of N is 0. And now 0 greater than 0? No. Condition become false. So the control comes outside and it display reverse number %dr. Now what is the latest value of R?
521.
521. Now see, your input value is 125 and your output value is 521. Understood this logic? Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is clear? Again, you have to do a practice. Then and then you can understand, right? It doesn't mean that only the one statement, but actually the logic is this. And I hope that, friends, now it is clear to everyone.
Sir, sir, for example, a 4-digit number will be also having the same method.
Yes. It will. This is just for example. I am giving just example. Suppose, say, if I input 4-digit number like, okay, where is the, yeah, I have to remove the demo value over here. Even not only 4-digit, 2-digit is also fine. There is another, yeah, here. Oh, yes. Okay, if I input 25 and it work for 52. If I input 342, 3-digit, then 243. If I input like 5-digit number like this, 4-digit number, then also 6345. It's a general logic. Suppose if you enter 3156 like this. Again, what is the problem? Can anybody tell me? Why this?
The capacity of the integer.
Yeah, it beyond the capacity of integer. See, it become 44,000 if you make a reverse, 44,000, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
44,000 is beyond the integer. Then what you have to do over here? Instead
LD.
of, yes,
Long
you mention
integer.
long integer over here,
Yes,
then
sir.
you mention LD over here, and here you mention LD. Then now it becomes a general program. See, now you can enter the big digit over here. Okay, now it converts this. This is a general logic. I hope it's clear, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you can also take a screenshot of this, and you mention this is the C program of reverse number. All of you take a screenshot. Done? Very good. Okay. Now see, now all the programs are relevant to this logic only. Let's see how we can do the next program. Program number 14, write a program that input and find out palindrome or not. Okay. All of you write down the definitions in, even you can write only this, the definition, write a C program that input number and find out the input number is palindrome or not. Can anybody know that what is palindrome? What is palindrome? Hello?
No, sir.
No, okay. Palindrome means what? Let's say give, which number you can give palindrome? A number also may be a palindrome or text also may be a palindrome. You read this word from both the sides, from left to right also and right to left also. What is the pronunciation from both the sides?
Same,
You
sir.
read the same. Malayalam, Malayalam. So this is, you can say, the character palindrome or string palindrome. This string is a palindrome string. Now I think you understand. 121 is
Yes,
the
sir.
palindrome number. Why? Why 121 is a palindrome? Because original
It's same.
number and reverse number both are same. See, original number is 121. Now you make the reverse of this. You convert in reverse. What is the reverse? What is the
121.
reverse?
1 to
121.
1.
So whenever original number and reverse number both are same, then that number is known as a palindrome. That is very simple logic. I hope first you clear about the meaning of palindrome. Which numbers? Can you give me any other number which is palindrome?
2624, 262.
2624, 2624.
No, sir. Just erase that last 4. Bus. That's good.
Yeah, 2624. Yeah, 26242. Very good. Very nice. Right? Even see 1001. What is this? 1001, 1001. So a number which is reading from left to right and right to left, both are equal, then it is known as a palindrome. Similarly, the string also. When you read the string from left to right and the same string if you write from right to left, if the pronunciations are same, then it is palindrome string. This is a palindrome string and this is the palindrome number. So now see, our previous program is totally including this. How will you check first?
Yes, sir.
First what you will do, suppose if I input 125, then first what you will do to check the palindrome? In your mind, first what you will do? You will convert in a reverse first. And what is the reverse? 521. Okay, so first steps we will do a reverse number. Once reverse happen, then what we have to do next steps? What we have to
If
do?
compare or if else.
Comparison, right? Comparison between our input number and the reverse number. If both are same, then we can say that number is palindrome. Hello? I think logic is clear, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
okay. Now, see this. First, I save this program. BCA in the reverse. .c. Same program again. I will save for (BCA) then palindrome.c. Okay. So see, in palindrome program, first we have to convert in reverse. So the entire reverse program logic is included over here, 100%. And only the difference is that once you convert the reverse number, then only one condition we have to make in this program to compare original number and reverse number. If both are same, then we have to give the message that it is a palindrome. So C program of palindrome number checking. So I hope up to this, the lot here R give us a reverse number. R value is give a reverse number. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Which is our original number? Original number means our input number is
N.
n. But do you think that, see, once this loop is executed, then what's happened? The first time n value is 125, after that 12, after that 1, and after that 0. So latest value of n is 0. Then what should I do? How can I compare the n and r? R give me a reverse.
Because 2.
Then what I should do? How can I take a original copy of this? So see, can I declare one temporary variable? And what I will do? I will take one backup copy of our input number in temporary variable. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? After that, what we will do? We will execute a loop of n, and we know that the value of n is finally changed as a 0. But before making change in n, we have taken one backup copy to temporary. એટલે n માં value change આપને ખ્યાલ છે, loop change થાય એટલે 0 થઈ જાય. તો n ની અંદર value 0 થાય એ પહેલા આપણે n ની એક backup copy શેમાં લઈ લીધી? TMP. So TMP is our original number. TMP is our original number now. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now tell me, how can I compare the using if statement? Who will tell me how can I write a if statement? Now which variable I have to compare?
N and
And,
R. N and R.
No.
sir,
N, see,
you
N,
use
Same time
TMP
TMP.
and
TMP.
R.
R.
yes, because n we cannot compare. Why n we cannot compare? Because after this loop, n becomes 0. So n does not have an original value. So what I have done, I have taken a backup copy of n. Whenever you enter the one value 125, then it will first, or not a 125, whatever value you input, it will take one backup copy in temporary variable. So TMP is having a original input. So we will compare a temporary with which variable?
R.
R variable.
R, because R gives a reverse number. Which variable gives
Yes, sir.
reverse number?
R.
R.
Okay. Now see, if TMP means original number and reverse number both are same, then what we have to do? Which message we have to give?
Then print
Number
parent.
is
Number is palindrome, and suppose if this condition become false, then what we have to print?
Number is not palindrome.
Yes, number is not palindrome. So in this program, we have to simply display a message whether input number is palindrome or not. So what we have done in this, whatever number we have taken input, we keep one original backup. Then using this loop, we have convert in a reverse. After that, we have compare the original input value with the reverse value. If both are equal, then it display palindrome. Otherwise, it display not palindrome. I hope. See, as I told you that once you know the one logic, the same logic can be implemented in another program also. I hope this logic is clear, everyone. This is clear.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Let's we execute this. Suppose if I enter 121, this is number is palindrome. If I execute 150, so 150 is not palindrome because the reverse number is 01051. Even you can like 1221, right? This is a palindrome. Even you can use the 5-digit value also, 12521, right? Then it is also a palindrome. Now this program logic become a general. So this is the palindrome program. Okay, all of you take a screenshot of this, or if you have any questions, any doubt in that, you just ask me.
Done, sir.
So here just you complete the brackets and all, right? That is. So see, always you think about the logic in that way. Okay, what you have to do, what you have to provide inputs like this. Let's we move to the next program. The third is very, very important again. So if someone asks you that what is palindrome, what is the meaning of palindrome, then at least you should aware about that. The number, when you make that number in a reverse, and if the original number and reverse number both are same, then that number is known as a palindrome. Similarly, what is Armstrong number? This is the another concept, Armstrong number. All of you write down this in your notebook, Armstrong number. Okay, all of you have written this?
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, first, see here, write a program that input a number and find out that number is an Armstrong number or not. So first you should know that which number is Armstrong number. What is the logic behind that? So anyone is aware about what is Armstrong number? Anyone is having an idea?
No, sir.
Yeah, tell me. What is Armstrong number? Tell me. What
So
is,
an Armstrong number is a number such that the sum of its digits, if it is less equal to that power, then it's how can I put it? If the sum of the digits are less to the power, it is equal to that same number.
okay. There is a little bit change in that logic. Tell me.
Sir, the numbers. So the Armstrong number is that numbers which are equal to cube sum of its digit.
Very good, very good. Excellent. See, the number like 153. Armstrong number is such a number which is the sum of cube of its digit. Two operations over here. One is sum of the cube of its digit. Cube means, what is the cube of 1? Cube means gun. Cube of 1 is 1. What is the cube of 5? 125. Right? And what is the cube of 3? 27. Right? And so it means each and every digit, first you have to calculate the cube. So in that also, see, the one logic is common. You have to separate the digit. Right? And whenever you separate a digit, what you have to do of that digit? What you have to calculate? Cube. And the cube of that separated digit is 27. This is the answer is 125. And this is the answer is 1. Now you make the total. What is the total of this? What is the sum of this?
153.
150.
It is 153. And now say the sum of the cube of individual digit, if it is equivalent to the original number, then it is known as Armstrong number. જે નંબર હોય એના ડિજિટના ઘનનો સરવાળો એના ઓરિજિનલ નંબર જેટલો થાય, it means that is the Armstrong number. So here see two logics are there. One is we have to separate a digit, so that we know that how we can separate the digit. Then once you separate the digit, then how we can calculate a cube? How we can calculate a cube? So multiply by 3 times, right? And once we multiply the 3 times, then we have to do a sum. So here we have to perform 3 steps. No, not 3 steps, but 4 steps. Step number 1. See, step number 1, what we have to do?
Finding the
Separate
cube.
digit. First step we have to do separate digit. Okay. So if 123 is there, what we will do? We will separate individual digit. Once digit is separate, what we have to calculate? Second. What we have to calculate?
The cubes for the
Cube.
separate
Then
digits.
what we have to do?
And finding the sum of the
Sum of
separated digits.
Yeah. And once sum is done, then that sum we have to compare with what?
the input.
Yes, input. Compare with input. So actually 4 different steps we have to perform in this. So first of all, what is Armstrong number? Everyone is clear? What is Armstrong number? Everyone is clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? So say, if I input a value like this, for example, like 235, and now tell me whether 235 is the Armstrong number or not. So first, what is the cube of 2? 8. And cube of 3, 27. And cube of 5, 125. Now make a total. What is the total of that? Total you can say 152 and 160. Now see, the sum is equivalent to the original number.
No, sir.
No. So this 235 is not a Armstrong number. I hope it's clear. So now
Yes,
let's we know how to write this program. So again, see the same program I will save as Armstrong.c, because step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, step number 2, step number 3, step number 4. Now I am changing and program of Armstrong number checking. In this program also, we will input one number from user. So that is n. Okay. Then again, we require a comparison. So we also take a temporary variable because we have to compare original value with the sum. Here not a reverse, but we have to calculate the sum. So instead of r, we will say sum, right? S, or you can give variable name sum also. Okay. So first we will take input of one number from user. Now we just remove all this comment from here. Now you tell me where I have to make changes over here. We know that this loop will give us an individual digit. This while loop will give us an individual digit. While loop separate the individual digit. Right? So n, suppose if I enter 153, then value of n is 153. So first separate a digit. So we know that how this statement separate the last digit. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then for the next value, we require n upon 10. That is the things. But here, whenever a number is separated, suppose n modulus 10. So if you enter 153 over here, 153, right? Then modulus 10 will separate 3. So the a value of L becomes 3 here. Okay. This is the value 153, and here the value of L is equal to 3. Okay. After that, here n is equal to 153 divided by 10, so 15.3. So it will ignore 0.3. So now the value of n is 15. That logic is common. Now tell me what I have to do the last digit. See the step number 2. What I have to do? What I have to do of this last digit?
To compare it with
No. See, you read in a notepad. What I have to do the second step. What is second step? See, separation is done using this statement. Separation means one digit is separate.
find the cube.
So calculate a cube. How can I calculate a cube? I have to calculate the cube of L variable.
Yes.
Then how can I write L multiplied by L? L multiplied by L multiplied by L 3 times, so it will calculate cube.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Now, third step. What is third step? I have to calculate the sum of that cube.
Sum of the cubes.
Then what is my statement? Sum is equal to sum plus cube. And initially, what is the value of sum?
0.
235.
0 here, right? So here is 0 and first time 3, so 27. So 0 plus 27. So first time sum is 27. I hope it is clear, this statement. So whatever last digit is separated, we will calculate the cube, and whatever cube that we will add in one sum variables. Okay. So after execution this loop, sum is having the final sum of all cube. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right? And what is our last steps in this program? What we have to do in last
Comparison.
statement? Comparison. So which comparison we have to do? Original number means temporary, and here instead of r, which variable we have to compare?
Sum.
Sum. So here you compare sum. And if sum and original number both are same, then what we have to mention over here? Number is
Array
Armstrong. Number is Armstrong. Otherwise, number is not Armstrong. I hope it's clear. Only so if few changes are required. Remaining thing is okay. It is clear.
Yes, sir.
Let's we execute this program. See, if I enter 153, 153 is Armstrong number. But if I input 125, this is not an Armstrong number. Right? So in that way, you can make this program general. I'm taking only small value because for the better understanding, right? Even this program becomes a general. So all of you take a screenshot now. Just a minute, I'll remove the space. Okay, and yeah. Okay, you take a screenshot of this.
Done, sir.
Done. Say all of you have to do the practice of all this program at your home, in a laptop, in a desktop, or in a mobile. Right? This is not a theory. This is a practical. Actually, we do not have enough time. That's why I'm not giving to you. You first think about write a program and tell me, because that we do not have a time right now. So, but at least you should understand the logic, how we can write all this program. And after that, you try yourself also, right? So all of you have to perform all these practicals in your laptop or a desktop. So here see, I have explained all these 4 programs. And now this one program, I am giving a homework to you, prime number. Actually, I am explaining the logic, what is prime number, right? See, this is write a program that inputs a number and find out number is prime or not. All of you write down this definition. This is for your homework. But at least you should know that what is prime number. Write a number program that input a number. You have to input one number. And you have to just give a message that input number is prime or not.
Done, sir.
Can anybody tell me that the logic of prime, how you can identify? Now tell me, if my input number is 11, it is prime or not?
Yes.
It is prime or not? Okay, up to why it is prime? How you can say this number is a prime? So the mathematical rules say that prime number can divide by only one number and number itself. It cannot divide by any other number. It means you can divide this number by 1, or you can divide by this number by number itself. You cannot divide by 2. It means if you divide by 2, then remainder is not 0. It will give a 5.5. If you divide by 3, again it will give in. So the number which is, how you can say this number is divisible by others? So whenever the first number is divided by second number, and if remainder is 0, then you can say that number is divisible by them. But suppose my input number is 15, for example, and 15 is divisible by 5 also. 15 divided by 5, then remainder is 0. 15 is also divisible by 3 also. You 15 15 ભાગ્યા 3 કરો તો આપણને remainder 0 આવે, શેષ 0 આવે. So 15 is not a prime number. Prime number is such a number which can divisible by only two number. One is 1 and another is number itself. Now can anyone give me the other example of prime number?
17.
17. Yes, 17. 13 also. Right, 19 also. Even if you start from, see, 2 number. So 2 number is also, even though it is a even number, but 2 is divided by 1 and 2 itself. So 2 is a prime number. 3. 4 is not a prime number because 4 is divided by 2. But 5, 7, 8 is not. 9 was not because 9 is also divided by 3. 11, 13, 17, then 19. 21 is not there because divisible by 7 and 3 both. 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47. So all are the prime number. Only એક જ રૂલ્સ યાદ રાખવાનો, ઈ નંબર છે ને એક વડે ભગાતો હોય અને પોતાના વડે જ ભગાતો હોય, બાકી ન ભગાય. એને પ્રાઇમ નંબર કહેવાય. So what you have to do? You have to just execute a loop and you have to divide that number starting from 1 up to that number. And if modulus return a 0 remainder, then it is divisible, otherwise not. You think about the logic, you can take the help of internet also, Google also, right? And try yourself. So I am giving this program in a homework, right? So that you have, because it is little bit easy as compared to others, right? So that's why prime number I am giving you as a homework. And if you know this prime number, then the another program is also relevant to the prime number series. Now, what is prime number series and how we can generate a series? So that I will give explanation about the Armstrong number. Right now we have done, so program number 16 and 17, I am giving you a homework. It's clear, all of you? Because
Yes, sir.
still it is, see, right now, frankly speaking, that it's not a time to explain each and every program. So those programs which are easy, so that you try yourself, right? Most of the program I will explain over here. So that's why I'm giving a hint, what is prime number and that. So you just do yourself this, right? If any query, then you can ask me. Now see here, now I'm taking the next program. Write a program to find out Armstrong number series. And here, this program will check whether input number is Armstrong or not. And here we have to display the entire series. It means the 100% logic of this program including this. Only we have to add 2 to 3 statements, right? But before I moving to this, I will give you one very simple example. Then you can understand how you can generate a series. Let's say give you a very simple example, then you can understand. Now, before I moving to this part, all of you please make your response in a chat. Any questions, any doubt, if you have, please ask me. I'll take attendance of everyone. Even I will also upload this video in our ERP, and once the all syllabus is over, I will share the link of all sessions by mail to all of you also for your future reference. Even it is available in our ERP also. You can take the reference from there also. Okay. Now you just tell me what is the logic of this program. The program will check whether input number is even or not. Just you tell me how we can write this very simple program. You have to give one number as the input, and you have to simply check whether that input number is even or not. You do not check whether it is odd or not, but here you have to simply say that is even or not. That's it. Then what we will do, we'll take one variable, CLRSCR, printf, enter any number, scanf, %d, %n. Now, who will tell me what is the logic? How can I check whether input number is even or not? What is my if condition over here?
If n modulus 2 is equal to
Very good.
0.
If n modulus 2 is equal to 0, if you divide that number by 2, and if it return remainder 0, then what is the meaning? Printf,
It's even.
number is even. Else. Now see, after if, but after else, if only single statement you want to execute, then no need of curly brace. Curly brace is optional, right? Printf, not even number. Okay, get ch. Okay, now I just save this program. C colon ca e1 dot c. See friends, now tell me in this program who is giving an input? Who is giving an input?
User.
User. Very good. See, if I execute this program, user will give input like 8 is even or not? Yes, 8 is even. Okay, again I execute the same program. 5 is even or not? No, 5 is not an even number. So this is my logic. If I take a input from user and check whether it is input, whether it is a even or not. Now tell me, if I change the same destination like this, the program which display all even number up to 20, for example, or you can say up to user choice also. Now what is this? You have to display all even number up to 20. So in this program, whenever it means you want to generate a even number series, display all even number series up to 20. I hope all of you are understood these things. And what should be my output? Which are the even number? Up to what I have to print? 20? So now you tell me, in this program, I have to give any input to the user? User is required to give any input in this program? No.
Yes, sir.
Here, say we want to generate a series, and whenever you want to generate a series, then this number we will take from the loop instead of input a value from user. Then what I will do, I will take one counter variable. Now I will not take an input from user. Instead of that, that value I will receive from which? That value I receive from which? First time for loop, I give me a 1. Second time loop is execute, I give me a 2. Third time loop is execute, I give me a 3. I hope all of you understood that. So instead of giving a number by user, now I will receive the number 1 to 20 from the counter variable. I hope
Yes, sir.
I hope it is understood. Hello? So whenever you want to generate a series, you have to always add a loop. Now, right now I want to generate my even number series from 1 to 20. So I have started my loop from 1 and up to 20. Now, see, in if condition, what I have to mention? Now you tell me. What I have to compare over here?
N and I.
I, because now there is no use of n, because I am not taking input from user, so there is no existence of n, but the value 1 2 3 4 5 it gives me from I. So I will check the value of I, and if I modulus 2 is equal to 0, what does it mean? That number is even?
Yes.
Hello? Right? Okay, and then I will. But see here, if I execute this program, then what should be my output? My output is message, number is even, number is even, number is even. But instead of message, what I want to print? What I want?
Numbers.
Numbers. So the number is from I am getting the number from I.
Yes, sir.
So if number modulus 2 is equal to 0, then instead of message, what I will do? I will print the value of I. So I want to print such a value of I which divide by 2 and remainder is 0. It means it is even number. So this loop is execute 20 times. This loop is execute 20 times. Right? First time I is 1, second time I is 2, third time I is 3, 4, 5. And whenever this condition true, then and then it will display the value of I. And when this condition becomes true, whenever the number is
Print
even,
the values.
yes.
200.
If you execute this, okay, leave the space over here, percentage %d. See, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 up to 20. I hope how you can generate the series. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Okay, but here I have fixed the limit 20. But suppose if I want to give this limit from user, okay, user choice, if I want to give the user choice, okay, up to what number you want to generate all even number, then what I have to do?
You need to take input. As
Yes, take one input from user like n, and instead of 20, what I will do?
to put
My
N.
loop limit is n. Now let's say execute. And if I write 50, then it will give me a all even number starting from 1 to 50. I hope it is clear.
Yes,
See,
sir.
so first what we have done, we have taken input. Then how we can check whether number is odd or even, that I explained. After that, I have converted that example to how to generate a series. So when you want to generate a series, you have to always write your logic inside the loop. So in that case, user will not input a number, but counter will give you a number. Yeah, you check 1 is odd, or even, 2 is even, 3 is even, like this. If you understood these things, then now tell me what is the definition of this? What is the difference between these two definitions? Definition number 15 and definition number 18. What is the difference?
The output will be Armstrong series.
In 15 program, what we have to do? We have to take input from user and we have to simply display a message. Yeah, this is Armstrong or not. But in this program, what we have to do? We have to display the series, right? Then can you tell me where I have to make the changes in this program, in our Armstrong program? This is the program which will check whether input number is Armstrong or not. Now I am creating a copy of this. Series dot. So now user, we will not take the number from user. So I am keeping these things in a. We will not take input from user, but that number is, we will receive from which? From where we will receive the number? Loop, counter variable. So can I put the loop like this? For I is equal to 1, I less than, or suppose I want to check that out of 5,000 number, up to 1 to 5,000 number, which are the number considered under Armstrong number. So I will execute my loop 5,000 times. Okay. And I plus plus. Right? And entire logic I have to keep within the loop. Within the loop. Hello? Please respond me.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, see, in previous example, whatever we input, that is considered n, and we are taking backup copy in temporary. Now, what is our input number? What is our input number?
I.
So instead of n, we will compare I. Or suppose if you don't want to make major changes over here, then see, otherwise if you make the change over here, then you can do like this. N is equal to I. No need to make major change over here. What I have to do? Initially, we are taking input from user and it is stored into n. Now, what in loop, whatever value of I, that I have assigned to n. Everything is same. Everything is same. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Right? And we will also take one backup copy of n into temporary, because at the end of the logic we have to compare. Then it will do this all process. Okay, now see, here we are checking only one number. So first time sum is equal to 0. But here we are checking total 5,000 number. So each and every time, whenever new number, whenever I is increment 2, 3, 4, each and every time we have to make sum as a 0. I hope it makes sense, all of you. Sum is equal to 0 because here we are taking 5,000 number at a time. And every time, because if we do not make sum is equal to 0, what it will do? It will add the previous sum. Then result will not be correct. So sum is 0. Then all these things happen. Now tell me, instead of message, what we have to do? Instead of message, what we have to do?
We have to print
We have
the
to display
value
a
of I.
number. Yes. value of, suppose percentage be temporary. So temporary is the original number, so that will display. And in series C, if the number is Armstrong, then it will display. If number is not Armstrong, then we don't want to do anything. So it is simple, like a simple if. If number is Armstrong, then and then display on screen. If number is not Armstrong, then you continue the loop. So here for loop is over. I hope this is clear. If number is Armstrong, then and then display on screen. If number is not Armstrong, then again execute the loop again, increment, check. Again you perform the second value. If second value is not Armstrong, again increment by 1. Again you check. Again perform the Armstrong is there or not. Again it display if Armstrong. So in that way it execute 5,000 times. So in that way you can create a series of any number. Only the 99% logic is same. Only this logic we have kept within the loop only. Within the loop, for loop. If you want to know that how many numbers are Armstrong from 1 to 10,000, then you make the change over here. I hope it's clear. Hello, it's clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's execute this program. See, starting from 1 to 5,000, 5 numbers are that which are Armstrong. See, 1, 153, 370, 371, 407. These are the 5 numbers are the Armstrong number. Let me increase the limit. If you want to check, okay, out of 15,000, which are the Armstrong number? Only that 5 only. Right? Even in 25,000, if you write, see, here the loop is execute 25,000 within a second. See, this is the capacity of our processor. 25,000 loop is execute like this. It will check each and every number, whether it is Armstrong or not, display on screen. Similarly, you can execute 1 lakh also, as you want. So this is the program which display the Armstrong. So you take, now if I say that, if I want to give a user choice, okay, up to what number you want to generate Armstrong number, then what I have to do? Tell me. If I want to give the user choice, then what I have to give?
You take input from user.
Yes, I have to take one variable from user. I will take the input X, and instead of 25,000, I will mention the last limit X. And if I execute this program, and if I say I want to see the Armstrong number starting from 1 to 30,000, then my loop will execute 30,000 times. So this is the general program of Armstrong series. Right, this is not an Armstrong checking, but this is the Armstrong series. Okay, all of you take a screenshot in 2 different snapshots, because there are 2 parts. So you take a first part, all of you take a screenshot of first part.
Done.
Yes. Hello. Done the screenshot? Then
Yes, sir, done.
And second part you take. So Armstrong series is over, and the next is the last program, you can say the definition program. After that, all are the triangle program, right? And the remaining is you can say the UDF program. So that UDF program I will explain during the theory session itself. And this is just the factorial program. Okay. Okay, so still we have 10 to 15 minutes, so let's I just finish this. Factorial. All of you just write down the program, write a program that input a number and find out whether it is a factorial or factorial of, sorry, actually we have to calculate the factorial value. And I think all of you are aware about that factorial value. Can anybody tell me that what is the factorial value of 5 and what is the logic to calculate factorial value?
I'm not really sure the factorial term.
Okay. Anybody? Anyone is having an idea?
No, sir.
Okay, let's explain. Whenever you want to calculate a factorial, the logic is that the multiplications from that number to one number. It means if you want to calculate factorial, it means the multiplication of all the numbers starting from that number to 1. It means 5 multiplied by 4, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 1. Now tell me what is the answer of this? 5, 20, 20 multiplied by 3, 60, 60 multiplied by 2, 120, 120 multiplied by 1 means 120. So 120 is the answer. Right? So if I say what is the factorial value of 10, then what is the logic? What I have to do?
10 till 1 multiplies.
Yes, the multiplication starting from 10, 9, 8, right? Okay. So one thing is that we have to start the multiplication from that number and we have to reach up to
1.
1, right? So let's see the final program, then I'll finish the logic over here. Program, let's I save this first. Fact.c, program of factorial. So first thing, I have to take one number from user. So the number is n. Okay. So let's see here. Printf /n, enter any number, nf. Okay, now we have a number. Suppose if my input number is 5, then I have to start my loop from 5 up to
1, sir.
1.
1, sir.
So can anybody tell me that whether I have to use while loop or for loop, which one is the better in this case?
For loop, sir.
For loop.
See, you can take for loop also, right? But in that case, the while loop is better. How? See, we have a one variable. If we take a for loop, we have to again declare one more counter variable. But here in while loop, we know that. Can we write the logic like that? This loop I want to continue
Yes, sir.
like this. So we can utilize the same variable in looping also. First time n is 5. Next time what I will do? Second time when n minus minus, then what will happen? Next time n become
4, sir.
4. Next time n becomes 3, 2.
2, 1.
But what I have to do? I have to multiply. So for that I will declare one variable 1. See, if I want to calculate the sum, then generally I declare sum is equal to 0. If I want to calculate the multiplication of the same value, then I will declare the variable with 1, because first time whenever you multiply with the name like this, f multiplied by n, then first time we know that the value of n is 5. So n is 5, and here we have to perform multiplication. And in multiplication, first time if you mention 1, then there is no change in the answer, right? And whenever you want to execute the sum, then there is no meaning of 0 in sum. That's why to calculate the sum, we allocate 0. And for multiplication, we assign the 1 value. But see, if you do not assign the 1 over here, what will happen? Can anybody tell me that? Yesterday I discussed about this thing.
So the f will have a garbage value.
Yes, f will have a garbage value, and it will multiply 5 with the garbage. Then overall, our answer will be a garbage, right? So now see, first time what will happen? The f is equal to 1. First time f multiplied by 1, then number suppose 5, then 5, then number become 4 again. The old value of factorial multiplied by 4, then old value of factorial multiplied by 3, 2, and 1. And once this loop is over, which variable we have to print out?
F, sir.
F we have to print out, gets ch, and here this logic is over. Let's I execute this program. If I input 5, and it gives me a 120. So I think understood this logic. Any questions, any doubt in this factorial?
No, sir.
You can enter any number, like if I input 8, then it will give me a, yeah. What is the reason it give a minus? Why it gives a minus? Because the value, yes, the limit is over.
Use long integer.
Instead of integer, we can use long integer, and when you use the long integer, format specifier is %LD. Now it will give a correct answer, see, right? So even in this calculator also, in calculator also there is a in calculator here there is options in a scientific or a programmer. Yeah, this one. See, here we have entered 8. So 8, and this is the factorial. If I click on factorial, 40,320, 40,320. So answer is correct. See here, fact into bracket 8. Okay, factorial 8. So this is up to from my side, and before I sign up from the session, take a screenshot of this factorial.
Done, sir.
And see, whenever you take a screenshot, after that you also write down in your notebook, because otherwise, yeah. So we have finished up to all this program over here, and now tomorrow, not a tomorrow, but Saturday we have a one lab, and if possible, I will take one lab extra. Then I can complete the. Here it takes only few minutes, right? This is very easy program, so. The triangle program we'll discuss, and these UDF functions. Now see, in UDF function, if you see addition of two value, factorial of a number, reverse of number, so all logic we have discussed over here. All logic we have discussed. Here in this part, we have to simply see that how we can write that logic in function, and how we can create our own UDF function. That only, see. Whatever logic today we have discussed over here, whatever logic like a reverse number, palindrome, Armstrong, right, prime number, all the logics are all available here: digit, sum, palindrome, Armstrong, prime number, right, area, rectangle. But here one word is that using UDF, you have to write a UDF. And how to write the user defined function? Today also we have discussed 4 different examples, right? Again, I will repeat the same concept in that also. Then I think hardly it required. Actually, I required 2 labs. Officially, I'm getting 1 lab on Saturday, right? And if time permits, then tomorrow I'll try. If one additional lab, if I'm getting, then in that lab we will finish the triangle program, and in remaining 1 lab we'll finish our UDF program. So your ultimate syllabus will be over. And yeah, theory point of view, I'm getting 1 lecture tomorrow. So if required, then 1 additional theory lectures also required. So hardly 3 to 4 session is required, then we'll able to finish our syllabus, right? So thank you very much, friends. And now before I sign off from the session, anyone is having any questions, any doubt, then please ask me. I am available for 2 to 3 minutes online.